bear with me as most of my attention is going to be down here. So I really don't expect anybody to be in this live stream today. I'm sure a lot of people are working right now, so but at least it's out there for the record. If you got any outstanding orders with me, I'm actually working on them right now. Just got back from the Mecklenburg County Courthouse with one of my neighbors who needed help. And she did what she had to do today, so there's really not much more I can do to lend a hand. So, but I've been falling behind a lot on my sports card sales and eBay orders, so I got to get on the ball with that really quick. As a matter of fact, this particular order I just finished up right here is for a customer that I screwed up. I sent the wrong card, and the customer messaged me, and I'm like, you know what, just keep the card you have. I'll send you a brand new one, and that's that. So that's where I'm at with this one. So, but yeah, I got to get on the ball today, man. I really got to get these orders going. So, but everything at the courthouse worked out pretty well for my neighbor. She's got stuff that she has to do tomorrow on her own. But at least the ball is rolling, so that's good. That's a good thing, that she's getting what she needs to get taken care of. So I'm happy at least that's out of the way. So, but anyway, if you're joining me for this live stream, I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And don't forget to hit that like button, smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel to grow and circulate within YouTube's algorithm. I really appreciate it. I know I'm kind of doing this in the middle of the day. I know most people are probably working right about now, but you know, today was a fairly busy morning right out of the gate. So if any of you saw my most recent short, I had to go, well, one of my neighbors asked me for a hand to bring her to the Mecklenburg County Courthouse because she has a lot of personal things going on, and we did just that. So that's all taken care of, which is good. There's the J-Rod, okay. But, you know, because everything that's been going on in the background with me, I've been falling behind, unfortunately. So I got a lot of catch-up work to do here with my sports cards. So I figure I might as well try to keep myself busy because these last couple days have been very stressful. Very, very stressful. So this card goes with this, okay. I just want to make sure, because this is a separate itinerary. Okay. But anyway, I hope you folks are enjoying your day. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Alexa, what's the current temperature?
Right now, it's 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
So we're kissing 70 degrees, which is awesome. So, you know, I got the door wide open, getting some fresh air circulating in here, and just trying to do what I got to do for my customers. Unfortunately, I screwed up one of my customers' orders. I think I just mentioned that. You know what it is? I've been trying to sell off LA Dodgers baseball cards, and it's bound to happen where I accidentally packed one card instead of another. So the customer messaged me and says, hey man, you know, you sent me the wrong card because he ordered multiple cards off of me. And as a result, I told the customer, just keep the card you have in your hand. You know, consider that a free gift. You know, whatever it was I put in the message, you know, you might as well keep it. You know, and I'll send you a brand new one on my dime, which is sitting right there with these 3 orders I just processed right here. Of course, I don't want to dox my customers or anything like that, but it's just I really got to get on the ball, man. I've been feeling like really down and really miserable lately. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and everything that's just really sad, but, you know, when one of my neighbors came knocking on my door saying that, you know, she needed help with this particular thing, I couldn't resist. Especially given the circumstances of, you know, what this particular issue is. And, you know, I took her up to the Mecklenburg County Courthouse and we did what we had to do. And she put together all the paperwork she needed to put together, and she's very happy with that, which is good. You know, due to Thug Shake, no, not happening. Sorry, I don't support frauds and fakes and jealous people. But I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, you know, at least I got to help her, you know, do what she needed to do. So, but now I really got to get on the ball and start catching up, man. I'm falling behind a lot, and Thanksgiving is next week. You know, I like to put a couple extra dollars in my pocket if I can. And I still have a lot of LA Dodgers cards. I got X Fractors, man. I got so much stuff I want to list. It's just, you know, trying to get myself motivated to do so. But anyway, with that being said, thank you for joining me for this kind of lunchtime live stream. It's 1:30 where I am. And I just sat down maybe like a half hour ago when we got back from the courthouse there. So it's just getting these eBay orders out. I really need to get these out and get on the ball. So basically what I do, you know, I'll print out an itinerary of all the cards for my customers that they ordered, just so I don't have to keep looking back and forth and shuffling back and forth on my TV or on my phone. And I got the whole thing printed out here, plus the shipping labels are printed out right here. So this one is a 2024 Topps Update Aqua Mookie Betts. And I have a whole section of just Dodgers cards. And there's the Mookie Betts right in front of my face. Boop. And first thing is first. Actually, before I even go through that route, I got to cut up the labels. So I got the labels here printed out real nice and neat. Take them, grab my paper cutter here. And I think I can cut up to like 3 pages with this. I do have extra blades just in case. But yeah, when it came to that one comment that popped up, I don't support fat, ugly, jealous people who want things because they think their skin color is going to help them to get over on society because they're not willing to put into work. Meanwhile, you know, these are the food stamp Americans who, you know, I was on food stamps. I got myself off of food stamps. So what's the fucking problem? You know, I'm on permanent disability and here I am still finding a way to make things happen. Despite everything I've gone through this year, somehow God has given me the strength to find something for myself to keep myself active and busy. These people don't. They're a fucking waste of time. All lives matter. Every life fucking matters. No one individual's life is more or less sacred than the next. Period. So that's my political rant for the day because of that comment. That was in the chat. Fuck BLM. But besides all that, yeah, so now I got the cardboard sleeve right here. Plastic envelope. Peel said envelope. Seal said envelope. Put a little air hole in there with a thumbtack so that this way it actually compresses down. Right. The internet. Isn't the internet just wonderful? Aren't there so many wonderful, wonderful creatures and characters on the internet? Packages. Nice cards of fast shipping. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, I had a little bit of a hiccup with one of my customers, unfortunately. I sent them the wrong card because I think that was during the time when I had all those crazy orders. And I told the customer, just keep the card you have in hand and I'll just send you the card on my dime. So, but into the envelope it goes. Close up said envelope. Now I have to match up the shipping label and I have to get out my Trump Sharpie. It's a Trump Sharpie. You shut up. Sit down. You're fake news. Same make and model marker that Trump uses when he signs his documents and bills and all that kind of stuff. It's actually a really nice Sharpie, I got to admit. I bought a whole box of these, by the way. It's nice because the text on it is fat when you use this. So I'm able to like see what I'm writing, especially when I need to be Johnny on the spot. Now what I need to do is match up the names with the list that I have in front of me. I like your sticker seals for plastic envelopes. Yeah, they're basically tamper-proof labels. You can basically get them on eBay for real cheap if you know where to get them from. I've experimented with a whole bunch of different ones. I mean, any tamper-proof shipping label is good, but I try to keep them small and simple because I can order them in bulk and get them for cheap. You know, the round ones that I've been using currently are left over from an order that allegedly was lost in the mail and popped up weeks and weeks later for some bizarre reason, which is these guys here. And I told the seller that, and the seller was like, listen, that's fine. It happens. They're cheap. Keep them. You know, I gave him a positive feedback and what have you. But I do have a couple hundred of the thin silver ones, which are these guys right here. And these will last for a while. There's got to be a couple hundred of them right there. So I got plenty of tamper-proof labels. So I have a signed baseball of his. It's worth $6,500. Okay, that's cool. You have to understand if I take that with a grain of salt because this is the internet. You know? So this is the internet. A lot of people say a lot of things on the internet. And then I got my little arrow stickers that I bought, so I don't have to constantly draw arrows on there. And boop, there you go. I mean, being that this live stream is reversed, as far as the image is concerned, you really don't see the names. So, but yeah, these are the methods I use. So I'm gonna have to order more envelopes soon. I was getting a little antsy. I was running out of the cardboard sleeves that I typically use, so I cut up a whole bunch of USPS postal envelopes, the priority mail envelopes like this, and cut them in slices, so at least I have something I can seal the cards in to at least stiffen the envelope a little bit. So what we got here? We have a Yamamoto Future Stars. So again, go into the Dodgers bin that I put together here. And now I just have to search for that Yamamoto, which should be easy to pick out. There it is. Boom. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Future Stars, Topps 2025 flagship. Get out the cardboard. Seal it up, staple it shut, boom. Actually wrong. Break out the plastic sleeve. Drop it in there. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done a live stream of me actually doing this behind the scenes. What's going on, Rob? Welcome aboard, like always. Much appreciated to have you here. Guys and gals, if you haven't done so already, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button. It really helps this channel to circulate in the algorithm and helps the channel to grow. And it helps my business as well. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever live streamed me doing this like in real time. So, but at least she's taken care of, which I'm very happy for, because that situation that she's in is just about, if not as bad as mine. I picked up one of his cards with the planet on it. I bid over 200. Okay. What was I looking for here? Oh, got to get the Trump marker. Big fat Sharpie marker. I recommend these for general use. The XL size ones. These are really good. I got a whole box of them. They come in handy all the time with just about everything. You know, the small Sharpies, their tips tend to flatten out a little bit. And the ink dries up really quick, whereas these big ones, they tend to last for a long time. And the marks that they leave behind are really, really legible and thick. But then if we want to go thick boy, I love these king size Sharpies. These are really good too, but the problem is it almost makes it look like you're writing in cursive. So, but I got all kinds of markers and pens and all sorts of stuff. It comes in handy. It's plenty of Scotch tape. I wish we could share photos in the comments. Yeah, I mean, this form of live streaming is awful because YouTube live streaming doesn't allow like what StreamYards does. Because StreamYards, I mean, if you get the free subscription, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But the paid, well, actually, that's not true. The free subscription, you could do what you want, but within certain boundaries of what you have so many hours you can live stream. There's so many things you can post. You get a basic background, all that kind of stuff. But if you get the paid subscription, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But that might be a bad idea. Yeah, you know why? Because you got a lot of idiots that are out there that'll start putting inappropriate things into the live streams. And, there are plenty of people out there that don't like me, that would love to see nothing more than have this channel taken down. Tommy Edmonds sand glitter. So back into the box we go to dig around for, and I know Tommy Edmond right up on top. That is a sand glitter, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Tommy Edmond sand glitter. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm having to cut up postal envelopes. I'm running low on those cardboard sleeves I typically use. I mean, it is a cost-cutting technique if I do tend to stick with the postal, cutting up postal envelopes, but it's so time-consuming and tedious to do that I only do this in case of an emergency because I want to make sure I maintain my standards for shipping. And I want to make sure that my customers' cards don't get all smashed and crushed and dented and all that sort of thing. Like, I really go to distance for my customers, man. You got a lot of eBay sellers that send out baseball cards in these, which I use for like graded slabs or multiple cards and all that stuff. Did you rip all of your cards? Yes, I did. Every card that I have, with maybe a very small majority, and I mean like 0.01% of my cards, I ripped myself, opening up boxes last year and this year. But when Flagship came out earlier this year, I kind of put it to an end because the prices of these cards are just outrageous now. And I decided enough is enough. I better start getting some returns on some of my cards. So you should do a rip session. Maybe for the end of the year. It really depends on how my budget is, because right now, with the unexpected expenses and returns and all this other shit, plus, I got bills to pay too. And I have to keep up with the supplies and things like that. It's a little hard to follow up with that. It all depends on my eBay sales, to be honest with you. I mean, I can use my personal income to do it, but I really don't want to risk my personal income at this point. I'd rather have the hobby pay for itself. But yeah, I mean, I ripped update all the way through probably March or April or something like that, up until that whole debacle happened with my ex. So that's when I was like, you know what? That was kind of like a warning sign for me that I better stop, just in case something goes wrong, and just focus on the sales until I feel like I'm ready, to rip some more packs. I mean, I would love to get Bowman Chrome mega boxes. Bowman Chrome has been very good to me. I hate to say it, but Bowman Chrome has been better to me than Topps in almost every way. Except for Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome has been amazing to me. So this is done. That's one down. Topps Update Series Mystical Freddie Freeman. Yeah, I miss doing rips. Rips are a lot of fun. You know why? Because you never know what's going to come out of a box of cards. But like I said, I'm not going to risk my home and my rent just for baseball cards, as Sports Card Radio would put it, pictures of men. All right, Rob, take care, brother. Thanks for stopping by. So, yeah, I'm very cautious with the things I do these days, man, because the way everything has gone this year compared to the way it went last year, I rather err on the side of caution. I've got car insurance I have to pay. I got life insurance I have to pay. Well, that was kind of thrown in my lap after my dad died, because I had no idea my dad was paying for life insurance for all of us. God bless the man. So I had to, unfortunately, that's something I'm responsible for now. I got my regular bills I have to pay, cell phone, all that stuff. I got to shop for food and everything else, just like the average schmuck that's out there. So, but at least you're seeing this in real time, which is cool. I like to do a proper part 2 of how I pack these envelopes. I mean, you guys are watching now what I'm doing. Going through the labels, going through packing the cards, sealing the cards, picking the cards, printing the itineraries. It's like all these little things that go into this. You'd be surprised. It's work, man. I mean, when I list the cards, I have to sit there. I have to have. I mean, my photography has improved considerably since I started doing this last year. So you have to photograph the cards a certain way. You have to list them a certain way. And then obviously what I'm doing right now, I mean, and then you have to itemize all the cards. So if you look over here, those are the boxes that are, these 2 boxes are of cards that are listed. This side are partially listed up until this point here. And all of these need to be packed and top loaded and all that stuff. So it just takes time, and it's just very tedious. It's very tedious. And there are some days like this weekend where I really wasn't feeling up for it because, I had a lot of things on my mind. I just wasn't motivated to sit here and do this, but it's such a beautiful day. I got the door wide open. I did my good deed for the day, helped my neighbor take care of that personal stuff she needed to take care of at the court. And, now I'm just here doing this. All right. So this label coincides with these next 4 cards. So we have a Series 2 Yamamoto base. Yeah, Yamamoto base rookie. Okay. So into the Dodgers bin we go. And that's another TD. Like, you never realize it until you do it yourself, how much work goes into this stuff, you know? And, you know, you have to make sure the cards are in good condition, because I won't sell my customers shitty cards. That's the one and only time I may dispose of cards, is that if I see a card is really damaged or off center, I will not sell it to my customers. You know, I'm a little more ethical in that. Oh, Will Smith Diamante, I just passed that, so here's number 2. But you know, you got to make sure the cards are at least a little presentable. So I'll give them a quick wipe with a microfiber. No splooge, if you know what I'm talking about. Topps 2025 Rainbow Foil Pete Crow Armstrong. That's not going to be in this. That's going to be in the paper. Right. Okay. So, you know, then you have to penny sleeve everything. You have to top load everything. Then you have to itemize everything. I mean, there's quite a bit of work that goes into doing the baseball card stuff. And it's very time consuming. You know, and when I lose track, like I did with this order for one of my customers that I gave him a free card. I told him, don't even bother, keep the card. I'll send you a replacement for it free of charge. You know, I got to pay for the shipping, and now I'm out of a card because of a clumsy mistake that I made. So now I'm out $1 plus whatever the card was worth, which I think was like $1.25, $1.29, something like that. So that cost me money, unfortunately. Emmett Sheehan Aqua. So it's just very tedious and time consuming. Like, you really have to sit here, and it's like looking for a needle in a stack of needles. That's really the best way to describe it. So did I or did I not? I just want to make sure, because I recognize that name, and I already blocked someone that used that name. And if it's who I think it is, you're going to go bye-bye. Emmett Sheehan Topps Update Series Aqua Parallel. There you go. So that was easy. That was easy pickings. All right. So that's this order. Then again, we go through the process. Cardboard them up. Now, in this case, it's a little thick. This is one of those rare times where I might switch these out to card saver ones, but the problem is when you deal with sports card customers, nobody likes card saver ones. So to get around that, I'll show you a way to get around that. And this is something I want to put. I think I elaborated about this in one of my live streams. But in order to get around the post office, because everything is by weight and size, and a lot of these you have to really be considerate of what it is that you're putting in these envelopes, because the post office will reject them and send them back. And lately I've got very few returns. These days the returns are almost next to none at this point, so I'm very happy for that. But when you have the thickness like this that's greater than 1/4 of an inch, and here's where something like this comes in handy. Let's see what, oh, here it is. So I have the postal template right here, right? And this is the slot you're looking for. If it doesn't readily fit through, they're probably going to reject it. So there's a way around that. The most important part about shipping this out is getting a tracking number, right? So I use the standard shipping, which I maxed out at 3 ounces, right? So that's $1.32. So I'll pack this as normal, which when you have 4 cards in an envelope like this, it typically is 2 ounces, but I bump it up to 3 ounces to reduce the chance of the post office rejecting this thing. And here's that Again, I don't want to dox anybody. Here's the label for this particular order. And I've had no problem with the post office doing this. Or I've had no problem with the post office rejecting these envelopes when I do it this way, because I'll max out the postage when I go through the process of printing out the labels. And then at this point, I'll add an extra postage stamp just to bump up the postage that much more. I mean, this customer did pay like $3 and change for this, but unfortunately, there is no $3 ground shipping, unfortunately. So in order for me to get this card to them with the shipping that they paid, I've got to bump it up with a postage stamp. So, and then I'll play. And what's good about the kiosk stamps is that they got that QR code on there. Again, I don't want to dox my customers, but you can see the two QR codes right there. The top one is for the tracking itself, and the bottom one is actually for the stamp. And I've had no problem doing that. So what's a postage stamp now? 70 cents, something like that? So technically, that's a $2 and change envelope that I'm shipping out and preparing. And I've had no problems doing that so far. Because based on weight alone, I'm way under the 4 ounces for this postage rate. But because the envelope is too thick, they'll take issue with that. So, but it's worked for me so far. I've had no issues with returns or anything. I do have one guy that's claiming he didn't receive his 2 autographs, but they're clearly in transit, and the post office is showing that it'll be delivered around Thanksgiving time next week. So of course, this person's trying to get a 2 free baseball cards, and I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm sure I'll get F'd in the A for that, like I usually do with claims like that. But there's that envelope again. There's 4 cards in this order. $1.32 postage with the QR code on it. And then you got the postage stamp QR code on there, so they can just bleep, 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 scan it. And that's it. I mean, it's crazy to have to go to, you know, this amount of work just to guarantee that your cards get to your customers. But I mean, so far so good. I've had, my returns are almost next to nothing, which is good. Don't use this. We have another Yamamoto base rookie from Bowman Paper. So that should be right up on top here. Here we go. And I think that's the last one. Yeah, it's my last paper Yamamoto I got from Bowman, which is that guy right there. Excuse me. I know this is not all that exciting, folks, but this is the process. At least it's my process. I can't speak for other sports card sellers, but you know, with all the fuckery that goes on out there with scams. Oh, I have an upcoming video that many of you are going to be shocked by if you're sports card sellers and buyers. What eBay through their AI is now allowing to get by, it's quite disgusting, to tell you the truth. Wait until you see what I found and what I screen captured. And there's not just this one listing I found. There's actually a couple that are like that. I will say I did file a fraud claim with eBay, and the response I got is just jaw-dropping. Whether or not I do that video today, we'll see what happens, because I really want to get these orders out today. My customers waited long enough. You know, I fell behind with these. Well, I mean, a couple of them, in all honesty, I got today, early this morning or last night sometime. I really don't know. But these have to go out. They have to go out. What time is it? Actually, that's done pretty quick. That's it. That's the last one. At least for now, unless I get some more orders. But, well, there it is. I mean, There are my eBay orders, at least up to this point. Sports card orders that you guys watch me pack up and everything. And this is a Daniel Jones jersey. Again, I don't want to dox my customers here. But, yeah, that's a Daniel Jones jersey that I recently sold. And it's crazy to see how cheap this thing sold for. And I put it up for auction. What I paid for it, yikes. You can imagine. How many orders today? Well, you see that right here. When will the next video be out? We'll see, depending on how the day goes and how things progress. Right now, everything is just wait and see with me these days. Everything right now is wait and see. Let me toss this in the trash. All right. Now, I'm glad I got that out of the way. The earlier I get these out, the better, man. I've already slept on these for too long. There's actually today some of the orders I had, you know, the post office gives you, actually, the post office only gives you so much time to ship. And then I think they inform the customers automatically whether or not your cards haven't shipped yet or not, you know, but you don't want to do that. What's going on, Pop that Snapple? That's pretty much the same watch. I mean, I only got the 3 G-Shock watches. So today I'm trying to match it up with the Yankees gear here. So that's the G-Shock I got right there. I don't know if you can see it. I know the image is reversed, but that's today's G-Shock. So, but yeah, that's all the orders for now that I have, and I'm definitely going to get these out, and it's really, really nice out there. I definitely need to stretch out my legs. I mean, thank God at least today took care of what I had to take care of with my neighbor downstairs. Man, that sunlight is really bright, man. That sun's really beating into my apartment here. Let me see if I can get out of... Oh, yeah, right there. Okay. Can we expect a live tonight? Maybe. You know what it is with the lives? I just do it whenever I feel like, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll talk about, you know, what I went through today with my neighbor, helping her out doing this stuff, because what she went through today is very similar to what I went through when it comes to going through the system. And the system is awful. The system is very awful because of the red tape and everything else. Just bear with me here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place like always. But yeah, I watched what she was going through, and we went from office to clerk. You know, and she's a senior citizen on disability and everything, and you know, we're walking through the courthouse there like a bunch of idiots, the two of us, trying to figure out, you know, what to do and who to talk to. But at least she's got her foot in the door. So that's good. That's a very good thing. That's an excellent thing. But again, I'm not going to get into specifics, but you know, I will say that yeah, this was a mess. It was very messy. Oh wait. It was very messy. I might do a live. I don't know. I really got to start. I really need to catch up on my baseball card listings. I'm falling way behind, man. And Thanksgiving is next week. I like to put a little extra money in my pocket. But I still got a whole bunch of Dodgers cards here. I got Dodgers cards here I haven't got around to listing yet. There are a whole bunch of mysticals from Topps flagship that I found and update and all that stuff, or whatever it comes from. There's so much. I mean, I got tons of cards that are top loaded. I got to that I got to list at my eBay store. Excuse me. That's what happens when you try to pump out too much information at once. You get tongue-tied. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens tonight, you know, depending on how the day goes. So that's that. That order is done. Finished. At least for now. But yeah, I really got to start getting on the ball. There's a lot of stuff I want to clear out. Oop. Any Christmas decorations up this year? You know, it's funny with my neighbor that I was with today. After what happened for Halloween, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I can tell you this, there is a very high probability that if things don't change this week or next week, I'm probably going to be forced to seek legal counsel. You know, because here again, with this latest situation with this guy, who now I've heard is in the hospital, who pulled out that knife on one of my neighbors downstairs, and I intervened on his behalf that they're punishing me, threatening my lease for doing the right thing for somebody. You know, it may have to come to fisticuffs, and I really don't want to go through more legal shit again. I had enough. Like, this year has just been a relentless gauntlet of just, I'm trying not to cuss so much. I really am not. But it has been a relentless gauntlet of nonsense and legalities and court appearances, and I had enough. You know, and especially now with this particular issue, my reputation is at stake. Because, you know, my business is now at risk. My business address and my home address is the exact same. You know, I committed no crimes. I broke no laws. You know, I didn't have to do any of that stuff. I'm gonna have, well, before I start answering certain questions, there's something I want to check out here first. There's got to be something running in the background. My computer should not take this long to boot. And I just defragged my hard drive. I use ASC to clean out junk files, and it's still starting slow. I don't get it. Something's definitely running in the background. Damn fruit fly. There we go, finally, damn. Yeah, Chrome lately has been on a tear. I mean, if any of you know about the whole uBlock thing and ad blocking thing, a lot of my add-ons on Google Chrome don't work anymore. Google outright disabled them, like screen capturing and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm sure there's add-ons I can find that will replace my old ones, but yeah, that whole uBlock thing sucks. I can't stand, like, when I'm watching a documentary, and then once you finally, like, you know, get into whatever it is you're watching, all of a sudden, poof. Whoop. We have another order? What could this be? When I hear that cha-ching, that's usually a good sign. Ah! Nope. You know what it was? I was doing a little research for this potential upcoming video, but I was trying to comp my 2024 I think it's a 2024 Bowman Chrome red out of 5 Mojo refractor of Paul Skeens, which is a PSA 10. And that's how I found out about this nonsense that's going on eBay. And that's what that was. You know, eBay, for whatever reason, like when you look at something or you view something, they automatically like send you like an alert. Well, it was recently priced at this. Check out this purchase or check out this item or blah, 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 whatever it is. I get that stuff all the time. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, it was Adobe. Yeah, it was Adobe Acrobat. Just pardon me here, folks. Come on. Who is that ugly man on my TV? Yuck, yuck. Come on, play, you shameless hack. Sorry, folks, give me 1 minute here. I'm just doing something in the background. Ay, 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 ay. All right, I'll let it slide. We'll let that one slide for a while. See how that goes. And I'll let this one slide for a while. We'll see what happens in the future here. But anyway, folks, I want to get these orders out ASAP. Thank you again for joining me for this live stream. If you are customers of mine, all of your orders are processed in good faith and ready to go, and they will be out the door today. I definitely want to get some fresh air and stretch out my legs, man. You know, like I said, I'm very honored and very grateful that my neighbor, had me do this thing with her, which I'm very proud of. You know, it's not often that people ask me to do things of such importance like what happened today. So thank you to my eBay customers and everybody else. Always keep these in handy when you have a keyboard of any type. But Yeah, thank you, everybody. Friends, family, neighbors, all of you, man. Everybody, especially my neighbors, man. My neighbors lately have been so amazing and so awesome and so cool to me. Coming up to my patio and talking to me and, networking with me, texting me, all that kind of stuff. Some of them are subscribers to the channel, which is cool. I really, really appreciate it, everybody. Today, again, having this one particular neighbor ask me to do this huge favor with her, especially under these circumstances, is a singular honor. I appreciate that. What the fuck is that? Excuse me, folks. Oh, that's person number one and person number two. I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, I know the two men that are walking out there. Yeah, they're fine. They're all right. They're part of the good bunch. They're the good bunch. Well, at least they've become the good bunch. All right, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Let me go. I'm going to take my supplements, my blood sugar supplements, tank down another glass of water right there, and then off to post office I go, guys. Again, thank you. It really means a lot to me. Take care of your fellow collectors, your fellow hobbyists, all that good stuff, no matter what space you're in, whether it's sports cards, TCG Pokemon, Transformers, jersey collecting, hat collecting, sneaker collecting, all that good stuff, man. This world is just filled with fuck shit. This world is completely filled with fuck shit. And I got this one annoying... Come on, where'd you go? One annoying little fruit fly that... I hate that. You ever get those little gnats that come into your home and they just... There's one of them floating around right here in front of my desk that I just cannot bullseye for the life of me. I'll catch them eventually. But anyway, folks, I'm rambling on here. Nothing else to talk about. I might live stream tonight. We'll see what happens, how the day goes. But I definitely do have a video, a very important video for sports card collectors in particular. Don't be a sucker for what you see. That'll be a little spoiler for what's coming. I don't know if tonight if I'll do it, or later on, we'll see how the day goes. But don't be a sucker. Don't be a fool by what you see. Especially you newbies out there. Not every listing is what it appears to be. And I got absolute proof of that. And I wonder if I have one of them in my collection, as a matter of fact. But you'll see that in the upcoming video. So take care. God bless. Stay safe. I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And check out my eBay store. Unfortunately, I didn't pin it in this live stream because I started pretty late this afternoon. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for really, really supporting myself, the channel, your fellow hobbyists, all that kind of stuff. But, again, this upcoming video is going to be, I'll give you a little spoiler. Be careful. Oh, man, that thing is annoying. Be careful with certain eBay listings because not every eBay listing is what it appears to be. And I found an example of this. And I myself took action, and you're going to be shocked at the result that I got as a result of me trying to do the right thing. Like always, take care, everybody. Let me get these out the door. I'll see you around.